Good morning, student. Today we are going to start with the essay The Spectator Club by Richard Steele. Before discussing the essay in detail, let us know something about the author Steele. Richard Steele was born in Dublin, Ireland, and educated at the Charterhouse and Oxford. He left before taking his degree and joined the army in 1694. In 1713, as a staunch Whig, he became a member of parliament. He was knighted by George I. Steele owes his chief reputation to his efforts as an essayist. The Tatler, which he started in 1709, was the beginning of a new era in periodical writing. The Tatler was followed in 1711 by the Spectator, by the Guardian in 1713, and thereafter by a succession of other journals of similar nature. The style of Steele is easy and familiar. Antithesis and climax are seldom used. Steele is sentimental and warm-hearted, but always urbane. He has also a delicate sense of humor. Comparison between Steele and Addison has a strong critical relevance. We may find Steele to be greater funded with knowledge of life. He has also a sympathetic heart. Addison, on his part, has much greater refinement and delicacy of wit. Addison's prose is also more balanced and lively. The common feature in both these essays is their involvement in the social sense of the time and their desire for the reformation of morals and manners. Let us start the essay. The first of our society is a gentleman of Worcestershire. Steele says that whereas the club is concerned, the first candidate, the first character of the club, of the society, is a gentleman who belongs to Worcestershire. Of ancient descent, he belonged to the old family. He was having ancient lineage. A baronet, he was a prince. His name, Sir Roger de Coverley. The name of this character is Sir Roger de Coverley. His great-grandfather was inventor of that famous country dance which is called after him. The great-grandfather of Sir Roger invented a folk dance, a country dance, which was named after him. All who know that shire are very well acquainted with the parts and merits of Sir Roger. Everyone who knows that country, that shire, that area, that village are very well acquainted. They are very well known about the parts and merits of Sir Roger, the nature and qualities of Sir Roger de Coverley. He is a gentleman that is very singular in his behavior. He is a gentleman, and whereas his behavior is concerned, he is peculiar in his behavior, unusual in his behavior. But his singularities proceed from his good sense. But writer says that this unusualness, singularity, they come from his good sense and are contradictions to the manners of the world only as he thinks the world is in the wrong. His singularities, they are opposite to the world, the manners of world. They are contradictory to the manners of the world because he thinks that the world is in the wrong. Whatever I am doing that is right and the other people they are doing that is wrong. However, this humor creates him no enemies. However, this nature, this eccentricity, this singularity makes no enemies for him. For he does nothing with soreness of obstinacy. The reason is that whatever he does nothing with soreness with bad temper, of obstinacy, of stubbornness. And his being unconfined to modes and forms makes him but the readier and more capable to please and oblige all who know him. And his being unconfined to the modes. This is another quality of this person, that he is unlimited, unconfined to the manners and forms, makes him but readier and more capable to please and oblige. This quality makes him much more prepared to please, to oblige all the people who know him. When he is in town, he lives in Soho Square. When he is there in the town, his residence is there in Soho Square, a posh area, residential area. It is said he keeps himself a bachelor by the reason he was crossed in love by a perverse, beautiful widow of the next country to him. It is also said about this man that he remained bachelor. The reason behind it is that he was deceived in love, he was crossed in love by an obstinate, perverse lady, a widow lady who belonged to the adjoining country. Before this disappointment, Sir Roger was what you call a fine gentleman. Before this incident, before this deceive in love, this gentleman was a fine gentleman who often supped with my Lord Rochester and Sir George Ethergy, fought a duel upon his first coming to town and kicked Bully Dawson in the public coffee house for calling him youngster. His company was good. He often supped with my Lord Rochester. Generally, he used to take supper with Lord Rochester, a renowned poet, and Sir George Ethergy, another renowned personality, a great writer of comedies, fought a duel upon his first coming to town. There was a fight when he, for the first time, came to town and kicked Bully Dawson in a public coffee house. And he kicked a candidate, a person who is entitled as Dawson, a comic character, and the reason was for calling him youngster, that this man addressed him as a notorious person and he became angry and he kicked him out in one of the coffee houses. But being ill used by the above mentioned widow, he was very serious for a year and a half. As he was ill used, he was misbehaved, he was deceived by the lady. He remained very serious for 1.5 years. And though his temper being naturally jovial, he at last got over it. Whereas his temper was concerned, he was a very jolly person, and finally he overcome this seriousness. He grew careless of himself and never dressed afterward. He became careless about himself, and after this incident, he never dressed himself properly. He continues to wear a coat, a doublet of the same cut that were in fashion at the time of his repulse. He kept on wearing a coat, a jacket, which was quite famous at the time when he was defeated in love, which in his merry humors he tells us has been in and out 12 times since he first wore it. About this dress, whenever he is in a good mood, in a happy mood, in a merry mood, he says that he has worn this dress 12 times. He is now in his 56th year, cheerful, gay, and hearty. Now, the age of this person is 56, and he is a very lively, very cheerful person. Keeps a good house both in town and country. 2 residences are there, good houses he has in town as well as in the country. A great lover of mankind. He was, or he is, a great lover of humanity. But there is such a mirthful cast in his behavior that he is rather beloved than esteemed. Whereas his behavior is concerned, writer says that in his behavior there is a very mirthful quality. He is a very joyful person, and because of this very nature, he is loved by the people rather than esteemed, rather than honored. Mark it here. Thank you very much.